Today, under the chairmanship of Honorable Chief Minister of Orissa, the State Cabinet passed 11 proposals across 8 departments of the state. The first proposal relates to Skill Development Department, where the Orissa Skill Development Project Phase 2 was approved by the Cabinet. This is a very large project of 1140 crores, which will be done with the support of Asian Development Bank, from which we would be taking a loan assistance, and the balance would be coming from the state budget directly. And in this project, some of the salient features are: number one, that right now we have one World Skills Center, but soon there will be 3 more. One at Bhubaneswar, which would be focusing on semiconductor, IT, ITES and aerospace sectors. Another campus in Berhampur, which would focus on hospitality and marine sector. The 4th campus at Sambalpur, which would focus on agri-tech, renewable energy, retail and visual merchandising. Apart from that, 5 ITIs would be declared as centers of excellence with enhanced intake capacity, new age trades, etc. And we will be taking ITEES from Singapore as a knowledge partner to bring a lot more quality into the program and to make it up to international standards. A lot of industry partnerships have been envisaged, and it is expected to benefit 60,000 youth of the state, with participation of girls, SC/ST communities, those from the disabled community, and also the particularly vulnerable tribal groups. We hope that this proposal will align with the vision of Odisha to develop a very strong skilling ecosystem. The second proposal that was approved by the Cabinet relates to Tata Power Renewable Energy Limited and their integrated solar manufacturing facility. This was approved by the Cabinet. They are setting up an integrated ingot wafer and solar cell manufacturing plant to be stationed in the special economic zone at Gopalpur, and this they would be setting up with an overall capacity of 10 gigawatt for ingot wafer and 5 gigawatt of solar cell manufacturing. It is a 10,000 crore project and is expected to generate over 5,000 direct and indirect employment opportunities, with a very significant share of high skill jobs. And keeping the vision of Honorable Prime Minister to reduce dependence on imports, this will be a very good project and will also stimulate ancillary MSME enterprises for glass, chemicals, packaging, logistics, etc. We are hoping that this would align with the state's vision for green industrialization, high-tech manufacturing and also industrial diversification, as the state seeks to move from just metals and metallurgical industries to textiles, apparel and aerospace, and now this renewable energy integrated solar manufacturing facility. The third very large proposal which was approved by the Cabinet is the amendment to Orissa Tourism Policy of 2022. Now, I would say that this is a very big reform that has taken place, and we are hoping that it will bring in many more hotels and many more tourist products that we intend. So, some of the major reforms that have been initiated in this are that earlier in our policy of 2022, there was a limit that if the capital investment subsidy was given only to those who had at least a minimum investment threshold for 50 keys. That now has been reduced to 10 keys, which means that even if a small boutique hotel comes up with 10 rooms, that will also be eligible for the capital investment subsidy. Similarly, even for expansion. Earlier it was that if you expand, you have to expand by at least 50% to be eligible for the subsidy. But now we have said that even if you are expanding by 25%, you will be eligible for the subsidy. The other important thing is that the 30% capital investment subsidy will be given subject to a maximum of 50 crores for investments up to 200 crores. This is a very significant change because earlier there was an upper ceiling of 20 crores. In fact, if the project was above 200 crores also, there was an upper ceiling of 20 crores, which now has been changed to 100 crores for projects above 200 crores. So this is another very significant change. Apart from that, extra subsidy of 10% will be given in special zones, and already we had 4 special zones in Chilka, KBK, Kandhamal and Gajapati, and that has been now, those numbers have been increased to Hirakud, Sutkosya, Simlipal, Ratnagiri, Udayagiri, Lalitgiri, Bhitarkanika and also the Gandhamardan Hills, Nursingnath and Harishankar. So here they will get 40% subsidy, as will women entrepreneurs, scheduled caste, scheduled tribe entrepreneurs, differently abled entrepreneurs. They will also get 40% subject to a ceiling of 60 crore for projects with investment up to 200 crores and 120 crore ceiling for projects with investment exceeding 200 crores. Apart from that, there are some targeted subsidies where again they will be getting up to 40%, for electric boats, caravans, etc. up to 50%, and for some futuristic things like destination weddings, luxury camping, electric mobility as well, there will be things. One other major feature is the promotion to Odia cuisine, and this is something where capex and opex would be given to restaurants and all those who will be serving Odia cuisine, and also a lot more promotional activities both on the demand side and supply side will be done for Odia cuisine. It will be for the institutional arrangement, a State Tourism Advisory Council under the chairmanship of Honorable Minister Tourism has been set up, who will be monitoring the progress on this. From Home Department, there was a proposal that is approved, relates to amendment in the Orissa State Prosecution Service Rules of 97. Now under this, we already had a state level Directorate of Prosecution. The Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita of 2023, that mandates having a district Directorate of Prosecution as well, where we have already created posts. 236 posts have been created. What was approved today is a change in the Odisha State Prosecution Service rules for recruiting this district cadre of prosecutors, and we are hoping by this we will be able to up our prosecution figures. From Food Supplies Department, there were 3 proposals that have been approved. As many of you are aware, under Jatiya Khadya Suraksha Ain, which is the National Food Security Act, there are certain exclusion criteria. If you have this, you are included. If you have certain things, you are not included. So an amendment has been brought, just like in the NFSA, in the order and the rule, whereby we are saying that households, earlier if you had 10,000 income in rural areas and 15,000 in urban areas, you were excluded. That has now been enhanced. So if you have now 15,000 and above, you will be excluded in rural areas and 20,000 and above in urban areas. Likewise, another approval that was done was, this is an outcome of a High Court case, and where what has been done now is that in case there is a death, and it is now the responsibility of the family or the authorized representative of the deceased to inform the PDS retailer that this event has happened, the death, and so the responsibility is theirs. But if they do not and suppress that, then there is a provision for recovery in case of suppression. Then this is to bring in more transparency in the targeted PDS system and is on the lines of the targeted PDS order of Government of India, where an amendment has been done. Likewise, in our state as well, we are amending the OPDS Act and the control order, where the rule and the control order, and here it mandates now that state shall continue to review households whether they are eligible or ineligible for TPDS, and will perform eKYC every 5 years. No ration card will be given before 18 years. No exclusive ration card will be given before 18 years of age. And Aadhaar, in case available for below 5 years, also will be taken into will be factored. And eKYC must be done for the child also before the child turns 6. And state should disable temporarily those who have not used their entitlements in last 6 months or are duplicates. The idea is that it should bring in a lot more transparency, but all those who are temporarily disabled also will be given an opportunity that if they can get an eKYC done or can present their case for consideration. From Panchayati Raj and Drinking Water Department, there was a proposal under the Jal Jeevan Mission. We have 50% sharing between centre and state of the entire cost of the various drinking water projects, and for some reason, since the funds have not been, there has been some difficulty from state, so an interim financial arrangement has been made to bridge this gap. We are hoping that as soon as Government of India funds come, then it will be reimbursed. So, but till then, to continue some of the projects, this proposal has been approved. From Water Resources Department, 2 proposals were there. Under the Parvati Giri Mega Lift Irrigation Scheme, a proposal for 6 mega lift irrigation projects to cover 6,300 hectares and to be lifting water from Rushikulya, Ram Nadi and Jiranala. This is a 190 crore project which will be completed in 36 months and will be benefiting 85 villages of Ganjam district. This was approved by the cabinet. The other proposal from Water Resources Department relates to Integrated Anandpur Barrage project, which is a very major irrigation project. And in this, there are 9 packages that are going on. The financial bid of one of the packages was approved for 12,000 hectares that will be covered. And this is a project of 310 crores to be completed in 27 calendar months. And it has an operation and maintenance cost which is built in. It will be benefiting Soro, Bahanaga and Opada blocks of Balasore district. And the final proposal was from Revenue Department. They have this Orissa Apartment Ownership and Management Act of 2023, as per which the common areas and facilities have to be transferred in favor of association of allottees at the time of registration, first deed of conveyance. For this purpose, association of allottees are required to pay 5% of the stamp duty for execution of this deed of conveyance, but this was resulting in a great financial burden on apartment owners and creating impediments in the process of apartment registration. Therefore, government has inserted a new clause in the under Article 23 of Schedule 1A of Indian Stamp Act of 1899. As a result, registration of the common areas and facilities, association of allottees are now required to pay only a nominal stamp duty of 50,000 for executing the deed of conveyance. And at the time of transfer of individual apartment units, 5% of this stamp duty pertaining to individual apartment units along with the undivided proportionate share in the common areas and facilities shall be collected during execution of the individual deeds of conveyance. Thank you.